Oh my God, look at that. Oh. Oh, hot, hot. Hello, I'm Paul, and this is Paul Plays with Fire. Welcome. I was out mowing the yard the other day, and that feller stopped by again, and he said, "Hi, Paul Plays with Fire. You remember that chicken noodle soup your grandma used to make? That was good. You should make some of that." So I guess we're making chicken noodle soup today. But not just any chicken noodle soup. This is your grandma's chicken noodle soup if your grandma knew Marco Polo. And I'll explain the Marco Polo connection in just a little bit. But for now, we've already got a fire started, so let's get busy. Okay, let's get busy chopping some vegetables for the grandma's chicken noodle soup if your grandma knew Marco Polo. First, let's talk about the history of chicken noodle soup a little bit. Let's see, we've domesticated chickens around 10,000 years ago, give or take, and we've been already boiling water by then. So you got to figure that boiling water and chickens just went together. So we had chicken noodle soup, say 10,000 years ago. And then let's talk about the noodles. The myth is that Marco Polo brought noodles back from the Far East in the 1400s, or in the 14th century. But apparently that's a myth, because there was noodles in Italy when Marco Polo left. So he may not have known about it, and he came back thinking he found something new. But there had been noodles in Italy since for about 2,500 years. It was on a tomb that they found that had people hanging egg noodles over the back of chairs. And the Chinese were ahead of the Italians on that. They've been making noodles for 5,000 years. So let's just say chicken noodle soup has been on the menu for a long, long time. So, why is this recipe called Grandma's Chicken Noodle Soup? Well, because I like the way my grandma's chicken noodles were, and I really love the taste, and she made such wonderful homemade noodles. Homemade noodles that, hung over the back of a chair, and she would make beef and noodles with them. She'd make chicken and noodles with them, chicken and noodles over mashed potatoes. Oh, that was so good. And chicken noodle soup, of course. And the only thing that I found that comes close to that is lo mein noodles that I get for making lo mein. But I've tried them in my chicken noodle soup, and they're about as close as I've come to anything Grandma used to make. So there's the connection. And I'm pretty sure that Marco Polo came back from the Far East with a boatload of lo mein noodles. So that's the story behind the name of the recipe. Grandma's chicken noodle soup, if she knew Marco Polo. Now we're going to put our onions, celery, and carrots to get on the fire together with some butter. And we're going to stir that around a little bit. Let that butter get melted, and let those vegetables all get to know each other. Probably should have heated that pan up before I put the butter in. Oh well, it'll cook anyway. And while it's cooking, we're going to add a little salt. And a little pepper. Stir that around a little bit. There, the butter's starting to melt. That's about a half a stick of butter. Okay, we'll let that be for a bit. We'll be back. Okay, our vegetables are looking very nice. The onions are just translucent. The carrots and the celery are just starting to get soft, and that's where we want them. We're not making a dark, rich broth here, So just translucent is enough. We're making a nice soft chicken noodle soup. So I wanted to say another thing. This combination of celery, carrots, and onions, in French cooking is known as a mirepoix. It is a base for many soups and sauces in French cooking. But we're just using it for chicken noodle soup today, and we just call it carrots and celery and onions. Now we're gonna add some seasoning. We're gonna add a little bit of garlic and stir that in. Let that cook for just a little bit. Then we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of thyme, a half a teaspoon of oregano, and a couple of bay leaves. And stir that in. Okay, and then we're going to cover it with chicken broth. About 8 cups of chicken broth. And we'll let that come to a simmer. Our broth and vegetables is simmering along nicely. It looks great. It smells delicious. It smells fabulous. And so we're just gonna take a chicken breast, slip it in there, oops, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes until it's cooked thoroughly, and then we're gonna take it out and shred it up. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. The soup looks really good. And there's our chicken breast, still intact. And we're just going to rescue that out of there. And set it up on the Paul Plays with Fire desk while it cools, and then we're going to shred it up. Meanwhile, we're going to take some lo mein noodles and just crunch them up into smaller sized pieces. They don't have to be completely broken up. Like I heard somebody else say, you want them to be long enough to slap you in the face if needed. I believe that was Chef John. So we'll pop these in there, stirring it as we go, because we don't want them to stick together. It's all about getting the right balance of noodles and soup and chicken. I think I'm going to add a little more. What I really want is for on day 2 of this soup that the noodles have swelled up so much that they have to serve it over with mashed potatoes. That's not a terrible thing. There we go. That looks more like it. Darn, that'd be a shame if we had to eat this over mashed potatoes, wouldn't it? Okay, we'll come back to that in a few minutes. Okay, so we got our chicken breast and we're going to shred it up. And while we're doing that, I wanted to add a little programming note.
Winter is coming.
Oh wow, where did that come from? But seriously, you know, you can see the trees behind us are starting to turn. The snow and the cold weather is coming, and when that happens, we'll be moving inside at least partially. We'll still be cooking on a fire inside, even though it'll be propane instead of wood. But it'll be a nice change of pace, and it'll shake things up a little bit, and it'll be fun to do some inside cooking. So that'll help break things up a little bit. Plus, I'm sure we'll do something like something stupid, like come out here and make pancakes when it's 20 below zero, just because we're not that smart about stuff. But anyway, that should be fun. Okay, I've almost got this chicken where I want it. And then we'll just chop it up a little bit. Get it into bite-sized pieces. I like the shredding because it gives it a more rustic look, rather than just chopped and formed like Campbell's. Put that back in the pan and put it back in the soup, and we should be getting close to eating here. Oh, it's good. All right, here we go. We got soup. It's delicious looking chicken noodle soup. Oh my God, look at that. It smells delicious. The noodles are perfect, just like Grandma used to make. Just like Marco Polo brought across the ocean. Boy, that's good looking. Yum. Let's try some. Dig in. Oh. Oh, hot, hot. That is so good. Man, that is going to cure what ails you. And the noodles are just perfect. The vegetables are perfect. Oh, another great comfort meal from Paul Plays with Fire. Tell you what, if you can find a way to subscribe or like our content, then it does help that content get out to other people, and that helps us here. And also, if you have any ideas for a show, please leave a comment down below. If you think there's something I ought to make out here, let me know. Or if you think there's something there's no way he can make that on a fire, let me know, because I would love to try. So, thanks so much. This is Paul Plays with Fire. Bye.
Thank you.